Hey guys, what is happening, and welcome to the 8th episode of my Modern Warfare Remastered Annihilation series. Now, if you haven't watched any of these before, it's where we go through all the guns on Modern Warfare Remastered and we talk about how they played on the previous Call of Duty, on the original Call of Duty 4, and how they play on the new game. I know obviously there's some other new guns been added into the game as well, and we cover them as well as we go along this process. Now, today's a pretty important episode because we are on to a different type of gun. We've gone through all the assault rifles now, and we are now onto the SMGs. And the first, which is probably one of the most popular ones to start with because it is like the starter SMG, is the MP5, and you can see we're using that here. And we got ourselves off to a nice quick start. We've got a gameplay on Backlot, playing Kill Confirmed, and it's the type of gun, well, SMG generally are the type of gun that I just love to use. I can attack and they're nice and quick to reload with, and it makes it just nice and easy for me to get some gameplays as well. It really suits my gameplay style. You can see here we have got the red dot sight on this. We've got the white out kit with fire camo as well. There's so many cool camos and kits on here now. I'm loving what they're adding to this game in terms of aesthetics. The guns is another thing to look at. Part of that is for another commentary, and I think I've talked about that quite a bit, so I'm not going to delve into that too much. But yeah, we're on to a 5 kill streak here, and yeah, the MP5. It is, like I said, it's a starter gun really for the SMG. So like you've got the M16 and the M40 and the SAW in terms of other classes. It's like the beginner classes, and I think people get really accustomed to using the MP5. 25 kills, you get that red dot sight like with any of the other guns that can have red dot sight equipped. And to be honest with you, the red dot sight is probably the best thing to use on it if you're playing this type of game mode that I am. If you're playing quite a game mode where there's a lot of action going on, so you kill confirmed, headquarters, anything like that, domination, definitely recommend red dot sight. Silencer's pretty decent as well, but I'm going to go on to talk about the iron sight, and this is probably the only flaw that I really have with this gun, like the only really major flaw. I do not like the iron sight on it. Because as soon as you start shooting, I just seem to get myself lost in that iron sight. Really reminds me of how I get sort of stuck with the MP44, and I think I went on to talk about that quite a bit. But I just really seem to struggle the first 25 kills, and what I will say is just once you've got that red dot sight, and I can seem to, if there's like 2 or 3 people in a way, I don't seem to have any trouble sort of getting them at all, because there is a fair bit of recoil on this MP5. But with the red dot sight, I feel like I can sort of keep track a little bit more of it. But as you can see, one of the first kills when I got into that 5 kill streak at the start, I just sort of dabbed the trigger a little bit as well. Just from long range, I feel like I have to do that with this gun. But as you can see, with the red dot sight there, I was quite comfortable in finding the other guy. If I had the iron sight, I feel like I would just sort of lose him a little bit. So that's like really the only little minor flaw I've got with this gun. But the range on it is quite short, but that's fine. I completely understand that, it's an SMG, but the power's pretty decent on it. You can seem to put down people within a few shots, and the fire rate's pretty nice as well. But the main thing that I really say, as you see, to stop it, the burst that I've got extreme conditioning on here, and stopping power and bandolier. Extreme conditioning is just a must with this gun for me. Backlot is the kind of map that there's lots of little smaller passages and little bits you can get in and out of. You see, I'm constantly running around this map at the moment, and I absolutely love doing that on this game, and especially on this type of map, because it just makes you a very hard target, very difficult for people to try and find you and track you down, because I'm constantly moving. Yes, I haven't got silencer on, but I'm constantly moving. I'm making it difficult for people to find me. People just don't know where I'm going to come from next, and I don't like to sit still for too long. So you can see I just pop around the corner and then I'm around the next one. And that guy that I've just killed, is he going to come looking for me? He might do, but I'm not going to be in the same spot. And extreme conditioning just gives you that, especially with an SMG as well, because they're not heavy guns to run with. You can just sort of get around the map so quick, and that is just a feature I love. And I think SMGs just seem to be my favourite type of gun on this game to use on a regular basis. And you see there as well, I'm getting a few nice headshots as well with this gun. And yeah, I think I'm getting a fair way through the headshots now. I haven't used this gun like a huge amount, and I'll tell you the other guns that I do use a lot more in the other episodes when I come around to them. But this gameplay as well, I just really enjoyed using this gun. I just didn't seem to have too many problems. I wasn't really struggling too much with range. but I wouldn't recommend using this gun on a larger map like Overgrown. I wouldn't even really recommend it, to be honest, much on wet work and maps like that, just because you need a bit more accuracy and a bit more, bit less recoil. But I'd say for this kind of map, Vacant is ideal for, and maps like Strike and District as well. Maps where you can get around and you've got little bits of cover, and then you can sort of find a new place after that. I don't know where that guy disappeared to. I think he timed out. You can see that I went to go and kill a guy and he timed out, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I'm really enjoying using this gun as and when I find it. But on the previous Call of Duty 4, I saw it used a hell of a lot in Search and Destroy, and it was used with silencer a lot, and it is a fan favourite silencer. And the reason I feel like it is because it's so good from the hip. And I used to use it quite a bit with silencer on as well. But it just seems to be, when you, even with the, you can see I've got extreme conditioning on, look how small the crosshairs are. That's even when I'm running. When I stop, they're going closer. And that is just such a handy feature that this gun has. If I had someone behind me now, I'd be able to turn around, and as I turn around, I can just start shooting as I turn, and it's so accurate from the hip, which is really helpful because you don't have to worry about putting steady aim on. So I think this gun, out of all of the guns on the game, just seems to be well, out of the SMGs really, just seems to be very well rounded. I don't think it's the most powerful, hasn't got the largest clip, but it just seems to be very well balanced. And I think if you use this gun right and use it on the right maps, it can be absolutely deadly. And you can see here I'm going quite well with this. We're absolutely smashing this on confirms as well, which is pretty cool. But if you want to use this gun for different game modes, like I said, Search and Destroy with a silencer can be very good. The silencer just hardly seems to make any noise as well. I know you can sometimes hear silence guns if you're wearing a nice headset. You can pick that sort of sound up, but on this game you can really hardly hear anything with it as well. So it's very good, very stealthy in terms of that aspect, and just a generally good gun. Like, I used it a fair bit on the original, but I sniped a lot on the original game. But when I did use it, like I said, I used it a lot for S&D when I used to play with some friends when I first started playing the game, and I had quite a lot of joy with it. I was getting some good Search and Destroy kill death ratios and stuff like that, which was nice. It was good. So we're coming up to the end of this now. It's gone really quick, and I'm going to try and get the next episodes up as soon as possible. I think we've got the Scorpion next, which should be good fun to get a nice gameplay with that. If you have enjoyed this, then please drop a like. It's going to be in the playlist, so catch up on any episodes that you've missed as well. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.